This week in Real Pirate Fall.
What's up, everybody? Greg Mercer here once again with the second part of my 2012 Pittsburgh Pirates baseball primer. Today I'm going to give you a rundown and projections for the Pirates starting pitching staff, take a quick look at the relievers and bench, and give you my win-loss projection for the 2012 Pirates. Let's go ahead and get started. Starter number 1, A.J. Burnett. The Pirates took Burnett off the Yankees' hands after having 2 lackluster seasons in the Big Apple, and they agreed to pay $5 million of his $16.5 million contract. Sadly, Burnett tried to turn himself into Tattoo Arm the Pirate by almost bunting a ball right into his eye in spring training. He may not be ready to start opening day, but the Pirates expect AJ to be a workhorse for the team. He's always been an innings eater, and his knuckle curve has been abusing hitters for quite some time. Still, at 34 years old, Burnett is a few years removed from success. His fastball velocity has dropped, and his wild pitch rate remains quite high. While Burnett will probably have flashes of brilliance, I wouldn't expect him to be an ace or savior for this team. Starter number 2, Eric Bedard. Bedard was picked up for $4.5 million, and I feel that he's the best acquisition made by GM Neil Huntington this offseason. Bedard has always been an above-average Major League pitcher. The problem is that he always gets hurt. I wouldn't be a bit surprised if he, Ryan Domit, and Grant Hill were all related somehow. Throughout his career, Bedard has been able to strike out about 1 batter per inning, which shows his ability to truly control a game, unlike the pitch-to-contact type pitchers like Charlie Morton or Bedard's southpaw predecessor, Paul Maholm. My projections are based on him missing at least a few games this year, but if he stays healthy, I think Bedard could be the Pirates' best starter this year. Starter number 3, Charlie Morton. Morton had a fair amount of success in 2011, but he required hip surgery in the offseason and won't be ready for opening day. Once he does get back on the field, the Pirates expect him to pick up right where he left off last year. However, I see Morton looking even less and less like Roy Halladay this year. I just don't like pitch-to-contact type pitchers, especially when their home run rates are unsustainably low like Morton's 0.3 home runs per 9 innings last year. I think regression is highly likely for Charlie, but if he can keep his ERA in the low 4s, he can still be a serviceable member of the team. Starter number 4, Jeff Karstens. Last year's ace out of nowhere came in the unlikely form of Karstens, the Baby Gerald lookalike. Karstens effectively changed peds and located his pitches well, which kept hitters off balance all season. Still, with his mediocre body of work preceding him, I can't project another season of a 3.4 ERA for Karstens. I could easily see the curse of the Pirates ace befalling Jeff this year, but I've kept my projection fairly optimistic in the hope that he's truly learned how to pitch thanks to the help of pitching coach Ray Searage. Starter number 5, James McDonald. J-Mac is a bit of an enigma for the Pirates. He has good velocity on his fastball and great break on his curve, but he's just not able to put hitters away and wasn't able to pitch deep into games last year. He's had a rough spring training as well, putting up a pathetic 9.16 ERA in 5 starts. I'm not gonna lie, I have no idea how James McDonald's gonna do this year, but it seems like every year some random guy has a ridiculously anomalous season, so I'm making James McDonald my 2012 ace out of nowhere with absolutely no basis behind it. The bullpen is mostly filled with holdouts from the last season. The hammer, Joel Hanrahan, will return as the closer and should once again be able to effectively shut the door if the Pirates are leading in the 9th inning. Steady contributors Jason Grilli and Chris Resop will be called on to handle the setup duties. Evan Meek should be back as well, although questions still abound on whether his decreased velocity will make him less effective. Non-roster invitee Juan Cruz made the team, and he hopes to sustain his 1 strikeout per inning average. Lefties Daniel Moscas and Tony Watson will provide southpaw options for manager Clint Hurdle. Kevin Correa will start the year in the rotation, but he may end up becoming the long man out of the pen once Morton and Burnett are healthy. Overall, the bullpen looks fairly average. Just like in previous years, they'll have flashes of brilliance mixed in with inevitable blow-ups. The bench has a few interesting players who are looking to prove themselves. Chief among them is corner infielder Casey McGee. After 2 dazzling seasons with Milwaukee, he completely stunk last year. The Pirates decided to take him on as a reclamation project, and I'm glad that they did. I could easily see him getting plenty of playing time to spell Garrett Jones and Pedro Alvarez, which could pay off in the win column. Nate McLouth was reacquired from the Braves and will be the Pirates' primary outfield replacement. The scrappy Michael McHenry returns as the backup catcher, and Josh Harrison and Yamiko Navarro will be the infield utility men. First baseman Matt Haig hit his way onto the roster, and based on his good work throughout his minor league career, could be a player to watch. Still, at the end of the day, most of these players wouldn't even make it on most major league rosters. Outside of McGee, I don't like the depth that the Pirates have at any position. The 2012 Pirates pitching staff has a few big-name players and plenty of question marks. All in all, I expect the Pirates to allow 725 to 750 runs this year, a slight decline from last season. The Pirates essentially swapped a few veteran starters who may be able to strike out a few more batters than their predecessors, but at the end of the day, they won't be much better than what they had. If Morton and Karstens do regress from last year, or if the other starters suck or get hurt like they do most years, it could be a long season for the staff, as the Pirates still don't have much depth in the minors as far as replacements. Based on these stats, the Pirates' Pythagorean win-loss record stands at 71 and 91. I'm going to project a 70-win and 92 loss record for the Pirates in 2012, and along with it, a 20th consecutive losing season. Even in a weakened division, the Pirates still lag behind other teams in power, pitching, and overall talent. Like I always say, I know I paint a bleak picture for the team, but I'm just being realistic based upon the data and collective ability of the players. Sure, the Pirates could play out of their minds for a while like they did last year, but over the course of a 162-game season, I think the law of averages will show that this team just isn't ready to be a player in the NL Central. If everything breaks right for the team, I can see them flirting with 500, but that's still the best case scenario for this group. Well, that about does it for my 2012 Pittsburgh Pirates Baseball Primer. Join me this season as I once again bring you This Week in Real Pirate Ball, a realistic and satirical look into the Pittsburgh Pirates done nearly every week on this channel. Be sure to follow me on Twitter @MercerBoy for some quick quips during games and links to every twerp episode. Until next time, this is Greg Mercer for This Week in Real Pirate Ball. Later.